What's up, it's your boy Judaic Black, Shalom L'Chaim, purified drinking water. They got it, it's up there. I just wanna clarify a few things for y'all. So we uploaded the waters to the wilderness blessings, and I don't know if you know or if you can hear me clearly, but the little purified drinking water bottle says 16 ounce on it, but it's an 8-ounce bottle. Now I have a few 16 ounces, but those are going exclusively to those are exclusively, y'all can't get them. They're already paid for. They're already spoken for. But I may have one or two left over. I'll let you know, guys know that. But again, so the only reason that the small 8-ounce bottle says 16 ounces because those were shipped right before the conflict. And as the conflict was starting off, they didn't have time to really process and get everything right, so they just slapped it together and put it out there. Kind of makes the bottle, it kind of makes that bottle more important because they didn't have time to put the 8-ounce sticker on there, which is probably a foot away from the 16-ounce sticker. You know, they made an executive decision and hurry up and put it together and got it shipped out before the conflict started. So that's why that bottle says that. And I just took forever to explain that. So I'm going to just use this time to get into the next video. So we're walking off of Israel and Palestine, and we're going to walk on to Africans in Asia. Let's do that. Africans in Asia. So our next video is Africans in Asia. This is Judaic Black with Shalom L'Chaim, purified drinking water, taking my walk. And cue that music I like.
Doesn't seem right that I was born white and my parents don't fight. They just told me they love me each night. I don't lose sleep for the kids sewing my sheets.
Who are the ancestors of the Chinese? There has been a great debate on that since Chinese civilization is as ancient as Greece and Rome. But nobody ever knew where Chinese people came from. They wanted to know how the Chinese race originated, but no data existed. But now, a study of the Chinese genomes has revealed striking evidence about China's roots in Black Africa. But what does that really mean? What more evidence proves China's roots in Africa? Genetic evidence. It was not easy to find the genetic relationship between people earlier. For example, before DNA and gene testing, there was no way to find out whether a man was the father of a boy or not. But after DNA and gene testing, things changed. That's when genetic engineers and biologists started thinking about knowing the genetic roots of different races on the planet. That's how in 1998, the National Academy of Science concluded its study called the Chinese Human Genome Diversity Project. This was done to find out whose genes the Chinese people carry and the diversity in them. But how does that work? Well, the same way as DNA testing is done. On a cellular level, DNA shows bands or patterns. Hence, when DNA testing is done, these patterns are seen to know the similarity in the pattern. The degree of similarity determines how close or far two individuals are on a genetic basis. In 1998, when the National Academy of Science in China revealed the study's findings, the world was shocked. Nobody had expected that about 1/5 of the Chinese population would have genes similar to Black Africans. In other words, they had distinctive genes, showing the same pattern as that of Black Africans. It's clear genetic evidence that most people in China still carry genes that show they have genetic roots in Africa. It should be noted that 20% of the Chinese population carry Black genes, which means that almost all Chinese came from Africa as Black people. Even after hundreds of thousands of years, they still carry genes that show African roots. That's something striking. With time, due to interbreeding, the genes become submissive, and ultimately, they vanish. However, in this case, it's different. After thousands of years, Black genes still dominate and make up 20% of Chinese people. This simply means that Black genes have more survival chances and superior traits. That's why they have not been replaced. Africans, especially the Egyptians, have been obsessed with building gigantic structures like the pyramids of Giza. Shaping and moving gigantic stone blocks weighing tons was a feat which is impossible to comprehend today. However, Egypt is not the only place where pyramids are found, suggesting that Africans, when they migrated, took this construction style with them. Since archaeologists say that Africa was where humans originated and migrated to other parts of the world, It might be true that the Chinese emperors and dynasties were the earliest manifestation of Black African roots. Today, there are about 100 pyramids in the city of Xi'an. These are the pyramids located at the mausoleum of the first Qin emperor, also known as the Terracotta Army. The mausoleum is located approximately 30 kilometers east of the city of Xi'an in Shanxi province. Something to notice is the mausoleum was constructed in the late 3rd century BCE as the final resting place of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. We are talking about 5,000 years ago when the pyramids of Giza were being constructed. That's clear proof that Black Africans were the people who built the pyramids in Xi'an. However, some disagree, saying these pyramids are just hills due to erosion. But there are more striking signs that small Black people built these pyramids during the Mu civilization. The pyramids built around the world were all built by Black people, based on the contents of the pyramids. Some people dispute this fact, but researchers are challenged to examine the contents of the pyramids throughout the world to find out who the builders are. Examining the content, engineering, and techniques of the Giza pyramids and Xi'an city pyramids is not difficult. However, no archaeologist has ever done so simply to avoid discovering a link between Chinese and African civilizations. This raises another question. Where are the Chinese emperors Black? This question will be answered in the next piece of evidence we will tell you about. China's first dynasty and emperors were Black. China's rich history includes the fact that its first dynasty and emperor, King Tu, were of Africoid or Black origins. The Shang dynasty, which followed, was the earliest documented rulership in China, and is credited with unifying the country's earliest elements to form its first civilization. Under the Black dynasty, they were given the name Naki, meaning black man in Chinese. Calling an emperor. Black man is not a coincidence and does not pass without reason. It simply suggests that the entire dynasty had Black roots. Fuxi, the legendary first Chinese emperor, was a woolly-haired Black man who is said to have established government, social institutions, and cultural inventions, including the Book of Change, which is one of the oldest and most revered systems of philosophy. Their physical features have been noted, proving they manifested their Black roots, unlike today's Chinese. Not much time had passed back then, and there were clear indications in Chinese emperors of their Black roots. Emperor Hongwu, a Muslim of Sudanese and Mongolian descent, founded the Great Ming Dynasty and left a lasting impact on China. The skills that set the foundation for Shaolin Kung Fu are believed to have descended from both Indian and Africoid origins, and evidence of the deep interrelation between Africa and martial arts in Asia can be seen in the White Garment Hall of the Shaolin Monastery in Hunan Province. Not only that, but archaeological studies have located an infrastructure inhabited by Blacks in early Chinese history, with reports of major kingdoms ruled by Blacks frequent in Chinese documents. Chinese folklore and classical books speak of diminutive Blacks with Black features. Emperor Xiao Wenwei and Emperor Shan were spoken of as Black African, and there were kingdoms of Blacks in southwest China. The sacred Manchu dynasty shows a great multitude of Black people. Emperor Po Yi of the Manchu Kawa is most distinctly Black. Chinese chronicles report that a Black empire existed in South China at the beginning of the country's history. All this suggests that China's roots in Africa are not merely a claim but a fact backed up by evidence. However, if you try to research and find archaeological records, you will be surprised to see that none exist for ordinary people. All records that create a link between Chinese and African civilizations have been either removed or suppressed. Not only that, but even after the genetic evidence proving China's roots in Africa, some archaeologists are biased not to believe in the pyramids found in Xi'an City. However, they cannot deny it because if they did, they would have to prove that the pyramids are different, which in reality are not. You will find in no available history books that major contributors and even the establishment of the Chinese dynasties were Black people. They just don't want that to spread. Black people did not come as conquerors or invaders, imposing their own culture on China. Rather, they were native Chinese having features similar to Black Africans.